Right, guys, welcome back to our Football Manager 2024 playthrough with Aberdeen. This will be episode 2 and it will cover seasons 2 through 5. Now, bear in mind that it was a 5-year rebuild with Aberdeen. The difference being I simulated the full first season, and that is the only season I simulated. I wanted to play every single game from season number 2 through to season number 5. As you can see in front of me, this is Pittodrie Stadium, home to Aberdeen Football Club. Now, to measure my success, I guess I would need to go up against Sir Alex FERGUSON, one of the greatest managers, because during his tenure at Aberdeen Football Club, he, from 1978 until 1986, he won 3 league titles, 4 Scottish Cups, 1 League Cup, Cup Winners' Cup, and a European Super Cup. So that's the level of success we're going to measure against. The video may be a little bit longer, and I appreciate you watching if you do watch. Once again, if you enjoy the content, then please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any suggestions, any other teams you'd like to see me do a rebuild with, or if you just enjoyed Football Manager content in general, then please let me know. So once again, thank you for watching, and let's get into the video. So we are here at the end of season 2. So how did we do? Well, because we won the league, it put us in the Champions League automatically. We didn't have to qualify, so that was a bonus. And the Champions League money obviously made a massive difference. Were we competitive in the Champions League? Well, we'll get into that. So in terms of signings, we have got Matt O'Reilly coming in from Celtic because they were only playing him, and unfortunately, as Aberdeen, we couldn't pass that up. We brought in Jose Cordoba, who was a solid centre back. We brought in Stefan Gartman, who was on loan with us last season for 350. We brought in Lewis Palmer for 235,000, and then a bunch of free transfers. Now, some of these guys that come in on bigger wages than what I would expect, likes of Alexander Aravena, brought in Michael Forshorno on quite big money as well. Papadopoulos, I don't even know if I'm saying that right. So we did bring in quite a lot of free transfers, generally just due to the lack of funds. In terms of players we sold, I sold Stefan Omega to Southampton in the January. At the start of the second season, we had to sell Jim McGrath, who was arguably our best player. And 3 million in transfers in and 9.75 million in transfers out. Obviously a good bit of business for Aberdeen. So if we go to the competitions, how did Aberdeen do? Well, in the Cinch Premier League, we finished second, way behind Celtic this time, but still respectable with 87 points. In the Scottish Cup, we lost in the final 1-0 to Rangers, and in the League Cup, we lost 1-0 to Rangers. So then, how did we do in the UEFA Champions League? Well, we obviously didn't win it. The first game of the Champions League, we played. We played Fenerbahce and we beat them 2-1. We then went on to play PSV and got absolutely outclassed. We played Man United and got beat 1-0. We then played Borussia Dortmund, got beat 6-0. So some hefty defeats in the Champions League. We drew with Apoel and we beat Olympique Marseille 4-1. So yes, we had a couple of decent results, but to be fair, 7 points I think was the best we got, because we then got beat by Real Madrid and Juventus. So I mean, in terms of the Champions League, we were nowhere near competitive in this second season. So it is what it is. We were Aberdeen, we gave it a good run. finished in 29th place. Now, normally, obviously, that is pretty bad, but when you look at the teams in and around us, I don't think Aberdeen's in too much bad company there. So that was the rundown of Season 2. So we are here at Season number 3, and as you can see, my wage budget hasn't really changed that much. The transfer budget has gone up a bit, but in terms of profit made this season, we were down at, we made 3 million, that was it. So what happened in Season number 3? Well, transfer wise, we didn't do too bad. Again, we spent a bit of money, but we also made at least double what we'd spent on Kerr Smith, Andre Subotic, who is a decent young prospect. We brought back Evan Towler, who again, he's okay. We signed a couple of young players, mainly from Colombia, because these are just young prospects that I figured if we can bring them into the team early enough, then they become homegrown and help with the selection for the Champions League. In terms of the most notable free transfers we brought in Mason Greenwood. Mason Greenwood actually had a fairly decent season with Aberdeen, so that was really good bit of business. Now that might divide some people, but I had to try and do what was best for Aberdeen, and we need a really good striker. I brought in Joe Teixeira, Andres Schaefer, who is a very good player, especially for Aberdeen, Diego Cochin, backup goalkeeper to Santiago Mele, and then just a couple of standard free transfers that just kind of helped a bit, ease the burden. We brought in Koki Saito. A lot of these players were brought in mainly to make us money. That is just the bottom end of it. They were brought in to make us money. The likes of Tyreek George, who was brought in free and is actually really good. Still young enough, and you'll see later on he was really good. Playing the same tactic, nothing changed. So how did we do the competition for the Fireplay Cup? We finally won it on penalties against Celtic. The Scottish Cup, we beat Rangers in extra time 3-1. And we then, in the Champions League, we got knocked out in the, I think it was the league playoff, yeah. We lost to FC Utrecht on penalties. So in season number 3, we had to go into the Europa League. So that's why the profit was down as opposed to season number 2. And in the Europa League, we got to the quarterfinals, losing 3-2 on aggregate to Napoli. So again, I don't think that's too bad, but it was probably our best chance of getting a European Cup, and that was in season number 3. So it is what it is. In terms of the SPFL, we finished second again. Again, we're still Aberdeen, but we were doing the best we could. So now we are here at season number 4. And as you can see, there has been a massive change to the bank balance. The overall balance has now jumped up to 63 million. We ended up making a profit of 36 million. And this season so far, 2 million. So what happened in season number 4? Well, the wage budget went up, transfer budget stayed roughly the same. Transfers, we'll start at transfers first. Players coming in with Fernando Arevalo, Andre Maximovic, Philip Bundegaard from Bayern on free, and Aaron Salas from Atlas for 6.75 million. This guy is an absolute with signing players of this calibre is absolutely amazing. Transfers brought in, as you can see, we have spent quite a bit of money. £43 million we spent, but we made 46, so that's always the bonus. So who did we sell in season number 4? Well, we sold Jose Cordoba, we sold Michael Forshorno, Jonathan Panso, Duke, Sylvain Hefty, Kellen Watts, Tim Miller, Marko Dimitrovic, Mika Birith, and then a couple of others just went out on loan. And players we brought in Leandro Morgala, who is a quality centre back. He's on quite a bit of money. We brought in again some more younger players. Ignacio Navarro, a striker. Brought in Thiago Nivas, who's a winger. Ben Collins, who's a midfielder centre. Quite a few more young players in season 4, and we spent quite a lot of money doing it. Also brought in some free transfers. Again, these were brought in mainly to make us money, if we can get money for them. Well, if we go to competitions and we go to the Viaplay Cup, we won the League Cup again. If we go to the Scottish Cup, we lost the Scottish Cup final 1-0 to Celtic. And the Premiership, we won. So this would be technically classed as our number 2, but because I simmed the first season, I didn't count that as a win for myself and Aberdeen. So even though technically we won it in the first season, it was a simulated season, so for me it doesn't count. So this is technically my first league championship, and it happened in season number 4. So how did we do in the Champions League? Well, we didn't win it. We got to the semi-final and we lost to Barcelona. The squad, again, I still have a massive squad. There's still some players that I have kept. I signed this young goalkeeper, who has been absolutely phenomenal since he came in. We signed him for £750,000. Actually, we brought in this left back from Plymouth. Well, he was at Chelsea, then went on loan. We brought him in at the beginning of the season, and he's been absolutely immense for us. And the potential in the team is way better than what we started with. So that was a rundown of season number 4. So here we are at the end of season number 5, and this is the last season of the 5-year Aberdeen rebuild. As you can see, the bank balance has jumped up massively. The profit that we made was nearly 100 million, and the wage budget decreased because I got rid of a load of fringe players who were just they weren't playing and they were taking up a wage. So I figured it was best to just offload them. We have a transfer budget of 84 million. So let's see what happened in season number 5. And in fact, I will show you my squad first. So this is my squad at the end of season number 5. As you can see, it's been massively trimmed. So if you look at the age of my squad on the right hand side, we're looking at 19, 20, and all I kept thinking when I started season number 5 was this.
You can't win anything with kids.
And to be honest, sometimes I think Mr. Hansen was right. So we didn't actually bring that many players in. We managed to sell, as you can see, that's up to 105 million. So the left back that I signed for 750,000 played season 4 with us, played half of season 5, and went to Real Madrid in the January for 52 million. In the July, we sold, I'll just change that to the date, we sold Andre Schaefer, Mason Greenwood, Jacobo, Alexander Araveris, and then we loaned quite a few players out. And in the January, we sold Ishe Samuel Smith. We sold the young Turkish striker. We sold Adrian Gill for 10 million and Diego Cochin for 300,000. Did change the tactic for season number 5. I changed it to this. I switched to 2 full-backs, 2 ball-playing defenders, a ball-winning midfielder, a Roman playmaker, kept the inside forward, the winger, and the shadow striker, along with an advanced forward. We still kept the attacking mentality, and we're still playing it out the flanks. Still kept the standard press, we step up more, and this seemed to do the trick. It stopped us conceding as many goals. Didn't stop us conceding, but it did stop us conceding as many, with pushing these up a bit further. We sold Santiago Mele and used this kid as our main goalkeeper, and he did absolutely fantastic for us. So at the end of season 5, how did the competitions go? In the League Cup, we got put out in the quarter-final to Hearts. In the Scottish Cup, we won the Scottish Cup 4-0. And the Premiership, we got our second. Technically third, but it was our second league title, and we won it by 5 points. In the Champions League, as you can see, we beat Man City in the final, and this was at the end of season 5. We did have to qualify. So in the Champions League, we actually had to qualify for the Champions League and the Champions Path playoff, because Scotland's coefficients had decreased so much. Now in the league phase, as you can see, Aberdeen finished second with 20 points, Chelsea on 21 points. And then in the Champions League, we beat Benfica, we beat Slavia Prague, and then we went on a bit of a dodgy run in October, but we still managed to beat Ajax 3-0. And then we beat Manchester United 2-1, drew 2 each with Borussia Dortmund. We beat Bodo 4-1. And then the results started coming along nicely. We beat Bayern 3-1, we drew 1-1 with Man City in the Champions League phase. And then comes the big guns. We played Bayern Munich in the UEFA Champions League round of 16 knockout. Then we beat them 2-0 away, and we drew 3-3 at home. After beating Bayern Munich, no, they gave us Real Madrid. We lost 1-0 away to Real Madrid, who absolutely battered us at the Bernabeu. But then we got them at Pataudry, and we beat them on penalties, which again we were lucky, but it seems like Lady Luck was shining on Aberdeen. So after Real Madrid, I thought things couldn't get any worse, but they did. We get Paris Saint-Germain. Now, Paris Saint-Germain beat us 3-1 away from home, but then a miracle happened. We beat Paris Saint-Germain 6-2. Let that sink in. Aberdeen beat Paris Saint-Germain 6-2. And it wasn't even just a beating, we comprehensively beat them. We beat Paris Saint-Germain 6-2, and that was in the semi-finals. So then you're all wondering, who did we get in the final? Well, it was Man City again. And as you can see, it was quite a close game. Maybe Man City deserved it. They kind of just edged it, but when it got to penalties, it was my team that stepped up and won it. So at the end of season number 5, Aberdeen were the UEFA Champions League winners. And what we'll do at the end of this video is we will put on our honours list of what we have won, because as I stated in the intro, the idea was to compare myself against Sir Alex Ferguson. So have we done that? mean, I guess. As you can see, we haven't used any editor whatsoever. The database size is custom because all I did was just add as many players as I could. There is no in-game edit allowed. The in-game editor has never been used, and there is 0 database changes. So I hope you have enjoyed this rebuild with Aberdeen. I will let you judge the level of success. If you have enjoyed the content, please leave a like. If you would like to see me rebuild another team, please let me know in the comments. And thank you very much for watching, and stay safe, folks.